And parents, did you know that pre-pandemic kids across the country averaged more than 4.5 hours per day on some type of digital device? And now, Ben, imagine what those look like now after a year in isolation.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A lot of parents just had no choice, right, Amy? And a recent study showed that from May of 2019 to May of last year, screen time use in kids had doubled from year to year. Perhaps understandably so, but as a dad of two, I turned to two local experts to see what damage could be done with hours spent on screens by adolescents. Here's part of my conversation with the director of child and adolescent counseling at Daystar Counseling Ministries in Nashville, Sissy Goff.
This isn't to say we're trying to eliminate it altogether, right? But how harmful can an overabundance of screen time be to adolescents?
It definitely can be. I mean, even before the pandemic, we were seeing anxiety and depression rise, and statistics were tying it to an increase of screen time. So, from an emotional standpoint, it definitely is impacting kids. And we've seen so much more anxiety and depression in the last year and a half anyway. So that's contributing to it. And then I think as a therapist, we've always been able to look at these things like how it delays social skills learning. And now I think the fact that kids haven't been interacting as much, that's even going to be exponentially worse too.
But why we're going in depth is to partly offer solutions for you. So Goff tells me there are steps we can take as parents to combat the reliance and urge to stay on those screens. Number one, just be sure to be the example, right? You won't be shocked to hear kids won't buy the fact they need to take a screen break if you're still staring at yours. Goff just advises to try and have some dinners where everyone agrees to put their phone down for an hour or so, or agree to set aside some specific time where everybody takes a break from their devices for a bit. Take a family walk or whatever works for your family. Number two, have a conversation with your kids. Try to connect with what they're into. For instance, if you're in the car, just say, hey, let's take a break from our phones, but play me your favorite song. What are you listening to right now? Three, parents, give yourself and your kids some grace. We've all been through a lot over the last year. It's okay if you're not winning at everything. Small steps and victories are so important. It's also important to note experts say not all screen time is equal. Virtual learning and then playing entertaining video games don't necessarily hold the same value. But for young eyes, a bit of eye strain doesn't discern virtual education and virtual gaming. So here are the simplest steps from Dr. Anvesh Reddy from Vanderbilt.
Some of these steps are really quite simple. I mean, and it can be as simple as taking a break. Yeah, some people will mention something called the 20-20-20 rule, which is every 20 minutes, take a break, and for 20 seconds, look at an object 20 feet away. So take your attention away from near and look in the distance. The other thing is after a couple hours, just get up and go outside or do something different.
Yeah, nothing earth-shattering, of course, but just a simple reminder for even us adults, Amy.
Oh, for sure. And what other advice did he offer, Ben?
Yeah, well, Dr. Reddy tells me when we stare at screens, we typically only blink about half as often as we do otherwise. So if your child does complain of dry eye, it's okay to use those artificial tears. And if you'd like to learn more, just seek some help from Sissy Goff, you can check out my story on newschannel5.com.